Hey, welcome to the Shop of Wood Spun Round. This is Doug. I'm in the process of doing a bunch of pins. It's a batch that I'm doing. I'm doing them in. I forget the term that I'm looking for now, but I'm doing a whole series of them. I'm doing 10 pins altogether. I've already turned 4. I haven't assembled them yet, but I wanted to bring you in and let you see one of them. They're all turning the same, even though there's different woods. This is a piece of lace wood. I've also got mahogany and rosewood and box elder. There's one other. I can't think what it is right now. So 4 or 5 different woods. And I just wanted to show you the turning process of this one. I've done this before, but I wanted to do it again, and I will show you the assembly as well. They're all Saturn pins. So I'm doing it, turning them with 1/2 inch skew, running at 2,000 RPMs. Everything is clear. Everything is tight. So let's get going with the skew. Shield down. 745 RPMs. Production run, that's the word I was trying to come up with a while ago. Doing a production run of these 10 pins. Well, what did I do? Huh, that's strange. Oh, I know what it is. Started to look for my phone. I had it over here on the end of the bed, the lathe bed, and I went to look at it, see what time it was, see how long I've been working on this. Like I said, I've got 4 done. This is number 5. I was wanting to see how long it's taken me. I cut all of the blanks to length, and then I drilled them. Then I glued all the brass tubes in. So just one operation at a time. I've turned the 4. This is number 5 that's been turned. None of them have been assembled yet. So I will do all the turning. And just naturally, you know, if I had 10 mandrels, I would do the turning, the sanding, and the finishing, and then would just leave them on the mandrel. I'm using a very simple wax finish, and because of that, I've only got one mandrel, and so I am using the wax finish, taking them off, and I'm leaving them lined up. This is the nib end. This is the top end. This is a pin that the fat part is in the middle. This is the top. This is the bottom. Doing the same way every time, and that way I can't get them messed up, because these 2 ends are different sizes. Here's 100 grit. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to go with the grain. There we go. 150 grit. I've been running the vacuum just to keep the dust down, and keep it off of me a little bit. And running it at a little bit higher speed, because it is a pin, and this, you know, it's very small. Even though my gauge says 845, it's turning 845, but that's not a very fast 845. If this was an 8-inch bowl blank out here, or 12, 14-inch platter, running it at 845, that outer edge would be going a whole lot faster than what this is right now. All right, again, turn it off, go with the grain. On pins, I like to do this. It just seems to help. I don't seem to have as many issues in the finish and having to go back and redo if I go with the grain. 240 grit. .320 grit. my Axe abrasive paste. Doesn't take very much at all because it is a pin. There's not a lot of surface area there to do. But it will run that grit up from the 320 up closer to 1,000 grit. I'm trying to stay off the bushings, especially here at the very beginning. I don't want any of the bushing dust to get up on this lace wood. It'll turn it black and it's not very pretty. I've made that mistake already. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and clean that bushing off. Center one. This end one. I'm going to show you what it does. Between the sanding and the abrasive paste, that's what it does. That steel dust, just as black as it can be, and it will come over, it will migrate onto the wood if you're not careful. Any pin turners, you may have already found that to be true. Crank it on up, that's 1450. $16.50. Wax time, and you've not seen me use this wax before. This is the Minwax finishing wax. Get a fresh paper towel here. My paper towels have gotten kind of grody and mixed around. When I do these production runs, I tend to use one towel and one paper towel and do the whole kit and caboodle at one shot. Give that just a moment. I'm not going to use my normal process either. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on at 1650. Buff that out. Very little pressure. Just allowing that wax to come to a shine. Don't want to knock it off. Just want to buff it. Help it dry just a little bit. Buff. It comes up to a pretty nice shine. I'm not real concerned with a high shine on pins. Some people are, and that's fine. I just don't. I'm of the school, put some wax on it, and then as it's used, it'll develop its own patina. So there you see the lacewood barrels for a pin, and I'll show you the assembly of this pin here in just a few moments. I'm going to turn the rest of these, and then I'm going to go back and assemble. So I'll bring you back here in just a little bit. As you can see, I've got all 10 of the blanks turned. They're ready to go, and now it's a matter of assembly. We'll just do one. I think I tried to tell you earlier what the different woods were. We have mahogany, lacewood, rosewood, box elder, Australian cypress, and pecan. All of those woods are, all except for the Australian cypress, are all, well, no, they're not. The mahogany is, I started to say they're all native of the United States, but they're not. Mahogany is not, even though it does grow here. There are people who have planted them. Same with the Australia cypress. It's not native, but someone along the way planted a specimen tree. I've got some other cypress over in my stash that is Leland cypress. That's another one. I like to turn camphor. That is another tree that is not native to the United States. However, people have planted it, and so it is locally sourced. We're going to start off. All of my lower barrels are on the left side. The upper barrels are on the right side. I kept those straight. We start off with this particular one. We start by putting the nib in the center, or in the lower barrel. A hint or a tip for you guys who are just starting out pin turning. These presses are not absolutely necessary. You can use a clamp, you can use a vise. I put many pins together using a vise. You just got to make sure those pieces are going in straight. If you feel like they're going in crooked, you need to stop and try to straighten them. There we go. That's the nib in the lower. Then you put the mechanism, the transmission, into the upper part of the same blank with the same barrel. The tip I started to give you, one of the things, if you get a press similar to this one, with the adjustment knob here, or the anchor knob, the hold down knob, one thing you can do, probably one of the next things I'm going to do, at least before I start making pins again, is to make some wood blocks that'll go in here. So I'll have several of them that I can put in here. I can eliminate this knob, and I can adjust much quicker. These transmissions have a brass part. It goes in first. There's a line just above that. So a lot of people say that line is the indicator line of how long or how far to press it in. I like to go about to the top of the brass, and then put the refill in, screw it in all the way, and extend it. See how far it extends. That one's too short. You don't want to go in too far, because if you do, you go in too far and the refill will not retract all the way. That one needs to go in just a little further, so I'm going to go maybe half the distance. Screw it in, extend it. That looks pretty good. It still retracts and goes behind there. I'm going to leave it like that. Next thing I do, I put on the center band. And then we go to the upper barrel. There we go. What we have to do is take the cap and put it through the clip. This will need to be shortened again. And it goes into the small end of the upper barrel. There we go. Like I said, as we started, I was going to do these. I'm doing these 10 pins in production mode, and the reason I'm doing so is because these 10 are going to freedom pins. Now, once that clip and cap is on that upper barrel, I like to kind of line up the grain and then press them together. And there you have it. Here's a Saturn pin ready to go. Let's see, I did that wrong. It was partially open when I twisted as I put it on. So I make sure it's closed all the way. Then I line up my grain roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Now, there you have it. That is a pecan Saturn pin ready to go to our troops. These pins will all go to the Freedom Pin Project, our club, the worldwidewoodturners.org. We are working, we have this ongoing challenge, so to speak, turning pins for the troops. Many of our members are former military, some are active military, one's getting ready to retire, in fact. But anyway, the Freedom Pen project is very near and dear to us. So these 10 will be going to them. I'm doing them in production mode because of that. But I just wanted to show you one turning. I'll show you the one assembly. I'll show you here at the end. I'll show you the 10 pins completed, ready to go. So I'll bring you back here in just a little bit.